ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Shawn L. Jenkins.
Oh, yeah. Nice. We all have dreams. I'm just going to share one, if I can get through it. It was my dream to go to LA. That was the dream. So in 1991, after my divorce was over, I bought a one-way ticket to LA. I get out to LA, the land of sunshine. I mean, it was feeling good. It was hitting my face. I get there. My friends told me I shouldn't go, but when I landed, I got an agent the first week. Next thing I know, I'm over at Universal Studios. I'm over at Paramount Studios, just doing background work, but I was making enough to pay the bills. That's all that mattered, is to pay the bills. There were people that kept telling me, you should teach. And I said, no, no, no. I am not here to teach. I'm here in LA to be an entertainer. And then at that point, work had slowed down. Hiatus had hit. And out of the goodness of my heart, I was helping a friend move. I get a traffic ticket for a seatbelt. Now, I couldn't pay for this ticket. So I get before the judge and I said, Your Honor, I cannot pay for this ticket. He said, well, my son, you're going to have to do community service. I thought about it. I said, okay. So I chose the YMCA. I get over to the YMCA, they had me doing light maintenance work. And at the end of my 2 weeks, the director comes to me. He says, Shawn, people love you so much, you know the lay of the land. I want to put you on my staff. So I said, sure. But I didn't want to because I'm an entertainer. He said, that's all right, because I have entertainers here when it gets slow. They work for me. I said, okay, fine. Good. So while I'm walking through the YMCA, I hear this music. I mean, it's bumping like boom, boom, boom. And I said, whoa, where is it coming from? As I got closer, I got more electric. I started to feel it. And the beat, the sound just embraced me. And there they were. I got up to the room. And I looked in this room. There they were. About 40 of them on stationary bikes. I just looked at them. There was pools of sweat on the floor. I mean, they were gasping for air. I mean, they looked outrageously insane. I said, whoa. I said, yes. I mean, they looked like they needed to be committed. So I run back downstairs. I find the director. And I said, you know what? I don't know what that is they're doing up there. I want to teach that. That's what I want to teach. He said, oh, you want to be a spin instructor. If that's what it is, that's what I want to be. So he said, okay, we'll pay for your certifications. You work for us. I said, no problem. So they give me 3 time slots, 9:30, 12:30, and 6:30 p.m. The first month, it was slow. I'm the new kid on the block. Going into the 3rd month, there was an hour wait for every class. Every class. Now, I didn't go there to be an instructor. I went there to be an entertainer. But God has a funny way of redirecting you. So while I'm there, on top of it all my evaluations, top scores, I mean, the epitome extreme, all of it. And to top it off, I received an award from the CEO of the YMCA's for outstanding membership involvement. At that point, I knew it was all good. And all because of a seatbelt ticket. All because of that. Then, my director got promoted. The new director came. She called a meeting. Everyone met in the social hall. She said, it's going to change around here. Each department, you're not allowed to socialize with the other departments. If you're not on the schedule, you're not allowed to be in the building. If you have a class, You are to be out of the building within 15 minutes after your class ends. So I looked at my boy Barry, one of my coworkers, and I said, Barry, as long as I'm doing my job, I mean, I have all excellent scores, perfect evaluations. He shook his head. He said, Shawn, we had issues with her in the past, and they were control issues. So now there's this weird vibe going around the building. I approach her, I go to her office, and I ask her, nice and politely, diplomatically, I said, is there any way we can do something to uplift the staff, get them more excited about being here? She sat there quietly, and she said, Shawn, this is my YMCA. If you don't like the way I'm running it, you can leave. At that point, I said, thank you. Needless to say, I was written up 3 times after that for being in the building too long. To be exact, 45 minutes at one point, because I had to break down equipment. I had to talk to members who had questions, and I had to take a shower. I had to get clean, because I like to be clean. So, her assistant catches me coming out of the locker room, and she said, 45 minutes? I said, yes. It takes you that long to take a shower. I said, you know what? Get your stopwatch. Come in the locker room, stand by the shower stall. I'll take a shower and you time me. She looked at me, I smiled, she didn't. She fired me. Needless to say, you know, something had to give, because it just wasn't gonna work. Then, my dad got sick. It was like somebody had took a fist and just knocked the wind out of me. Here it was, this phenomenal father, brother, uncle, friend, invincible to me, was sick. He told me, he said, don't worry, I'm gonna be all right. So he beat cancer. I felt like I could actually breathe again. So I took a deep breath and I moved along. Next thing I know, I get recruited by Reebok for Equinox. I'm at the top of my game. The recruiter says to me, she says, Shawn, I've never seen anybody teach with such passion and intensity. She said, you are what this club needs. So there I was. We waited. A few weeks went by. I still wasn't on the schedule. She was pissed because she was sick and tired of favoritism over talent. But I didn't let that discourage me. I kept pushing on because I loved what I do. And the thing was, uplifting people was my talent that God had given me. So I move on again. And I remember the day, it was so clear. I was running a few errands that day. My cell phone rang. It was my mother. She said, are you sitting down? Immediately, I went to a park bench and I sat down. I took a deep breath and I thought, oh God, my father, what has happened? And while I was sitting there, before I could even get another word out, she said, your baby brother met with death today. I didn't understand what she said, or I was so confused at that point, and it really didn't really sink in. But I heard the noise in the background, and all I could hear was my sister coming in. And my sister was screaming, "No, no." And at that point, I realized that I wouldn't see my baby brother again. And I looked up, and I said, "God, I do not know what part of your plan this is, but I don't want no part of it, because you took my baby brother from me." He was brilliant. He was brilliant. I mean, I loved it. When he used to walk in the room, there would be like a problem that people couldn't solve. Here he comes, sauntering in the room. He'd solve the problem. And then he'd look at everybody and step back, say, "Figure it out." He was classic. Classic. But I don't know. You took him from me. Why? Why did you take him? He was perfect. He graduated with honors from Michigan State University. He was one of Ford Motors' top engineers. He had a wife, 2 kids. He did all the right things, quote unquote. He was good. He never got in trouble. And he gave from his heart. And you take him now? Why now? Of all times, you take him now. I'm not feeling this lifestyle and fitness shit. I'm really not feeling it. Here I am, this philanthropic humanitarian, this fitness expert, taking care of Hollywood and all these other people, and I didn't even see my own baby brother's issues? After all the time we were on the phone laughing and joking, you take him now. Now. I just didn't understand. At that point, I stepped away from fitness for about 2 months. I just didn't want it. I mean, there was just so much anger in me, and I wasn't at peace. There were days I'd wake up in the morning, and I would be just dead exhausted, and I just couldn't relax. I was going literally insane. So in the morning, I wake up, I run 3 miles in the morning, I run 3 miles at night. The next day, I run 6 miles. The next day, I run 8 miles. I would run until I couldn't breathe. I would run until I couldn't even think, because I could not rest, but I know I was not at peace. And God had given me this gift. I didn't want it. I didn't want it, because I had never felt so much pain and hurt in my life. It was like somebody had just stuck their hand in my chest and grabbed my heart and snatched it out. And I couldn't do nothing about it. But I knew, after so much running, days in, days on, I knew in order for me to get through this hurt and this pain, I had to talk to God again. I had to say, "I know you didn't leave me here. I know you didn't bring me this far to drop me. So whatever it is you're trying to show me, you got my attention right now, because you took my baby brother. So show me your plan. Show me your plan. You got me. Now what? Here I am. Show me." A couple of days later, I was back. I was working again, because I knew deep down inside I had this gift and I wasn't sharing it with the world, and that's what kept me at peace. And I was about to let it all go. And today, they say, all around the world, Australia, New Zealand, London, France, you are the most exciting, entertaining, fitness, healthy lifestyle motivator in the world. My brother, I'll cherish all the moments that we shared, all of them. Even his exit was so perfect, so genuine. But I didn't give up. I made it through that hurt and pain. And today, I think about him, and I think about that exit that day. He was at the Employee Bowling League. He got up. He grabbed the ball. He stood there. He rolled it. He made a strike. He threw his hands up celebrating. And that body that we call a shell collapsed right there in front of his coworkers. I may not be able to change everything in this lifetime. We all have gifts, but you better believe I'm gonna have an outrageously insane, phenomenal time trying. And we all got gifts, and you better use them.
Shawn Jenkins.